Hello and welcome to We Are Tottenham TV. It's me, Marlon from Spurs Kings TV, and I got Amir with me today. It is finished Tottenham 2, Burnley 1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which confirms Burnley's relegation. So we saw two changes today, Amir, which was Skip at left back, and we saw Maddison come in for Bentancur. How do you think we got on?
So I think Skippy being there at left back wasn't suited to his style of play, really. I think he struggled a little bit. The opening goal from Burnley came down that side. And we saw that when the changes were made and Van der Ven was pushed out to the left and we brought in Dragusin into that defence, that we looked a little bit better. We did really well today to fight back into the game. Obviously, going a goal down, it really is the story of our season. We went a goal down to Luton at home and we came back and won 2-1.
Yep.
So to me, I wasn't too worried when we went a goal down, but I was really happy with the response and the way we came out. I thought as well in that second half, the opening 5-10 minutes, I thought we really were showing our attacking prowess and that we were going to carve them open. It just took one of our best defenders to, in the end, get the winning goal.
Look, you saw when obviously the first goal goes in, it probably wasn't against the run and play. It was probably at the right moment, but you saw that Van der Ven and Romero both look at Skip at the same time. Yeah. And it wasn't to say it was Skip's fault, right? Because Pape Sarr has lost the ball and he loses on the rise to tackle. Johnson then wins the tackle, but plays it in the path of the Burnley midfielder, who then cuts it open because Bourne Larson has the freedom of Tottenham Hotspur because Skip is so far forward and hasn't seen danger. But was it inevitable that in a moment like that, because Burnley tried to hit that right-hand side at every moment they could.
Every time.
And it's nothing against Skip. It was just, he's naturally out of position. So do you think Burnley, they should have taken their chances in that first half and tried to hit more and more on that right-hand side as much as they could?
Yeah, I mean, I think they did target him as much as they could. I just think that they lack. If they had a bit of the quality that we have in that front three, they might have got a second or third. Yeah. I think our luck is that they don't have, that quality in that front three. So we managed to get ourselves back in the game. I do think that we showed some real resilience there to get the 3 points in the end, get over the line. And really, I hope it's a turning of a corner here. We've coming off the back of 4 defeats. We have 2 more games left. I really think it's critical that we finish this season on a high and good vibes around the club, the fan base, and even the manager, because you have been hearing whispers of Ange out and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. I think if we go in united to this window and we come out next season afresh, I think, the sky's the limit with Big Ange and where we can go from here. It's just going to need a little bit of patience from the fan base, and this is a building block that we can work off of.
So the equaliser comes from, and I kind of called it in the watch along where I thought Porro was probably our most productive player. Yeah. Right, and it seems to be the thing right now that Spurs defenders seem to be the most productive in the attack, right? Because our attack wasn't really, Son wasn't really getting the ball. When he was getting the ball at his feet, he was getting frustrated. Johnson played okay-ish on the right-hand side and looked more of a threat than Kulu did, but Kulu was better on that left-hand side. But the goal obviously come from Porro. Was it well-deserved in that sense of Porro? Porro was getting in such great positions that it was inevitable that he was going to be our goal scorer.
Well, like you said, he was one of our best players in that first half. And I think he just took the opportunity that he had. He saw the space, he ran into it. And as soon as you get Porro on the edge of that box or just inside that box, if you give him the time to shoot, he'll pick his spot. And the one criticism I can have of Muric today was that goal. Because apart from that, he didn't put a foot wrong. But the fact that he didn't have that near post covered and Porro snuck it in there, he won't be happy about that. But from Pedro Porro's side, great finish, showed some great abilities. And I think that, going forward, his ability to assist and score is going to be very, very handy in this system.
So it was 1-1 at half time. Probably the right result. But is that concerning considering where Spurs are, like Spurs are aiming for Champions League football? Let's just take that. We might get it, we might not. But Burnley are basically in the relegation trouble and still tried to play their football. They didn't try and didn't sit deep and defend.
No, they didn't.
Was it quite troubling that it was 1-1 and we hadn't controlled the game in the first half?
It's not so troubling given the circumstances of the game and coming into the end of the season and what we're fighting for. For me, if you'd asked me that 6 months down the line after this window and we're still like that, then for me it would be a worry. I still think we're way too early into Ange's project to be, moaning and groaning about being 1-1 at Burnley. Yeah, that's the way I see it. That's the
fair point. So obviously, second half comes out. The only change, he doesn't make any subs, but the only change is swap his Kulu for Johnson. So Kulu comes out onto the right, Johnson goes into the left. Do you feel like we picked up in the second half a little bit more?
A little bit, yeah. We picked up in that first 10 minutes especially. We did pick it up a little bit. But I think the subs and moving Van der Ven out to left back, that was when the real change...
Who called it?
Yeah, well,
who called it?
Yeah. That was when the big change for me happened in the game.
So let's talk about that change. Obviously, Skip comes off. He puts Van der Ven at left back. Bentancur came in for Basuma, was it? Basuma.
Yeah, Basuma.
And Kulu came off for Scarlett. And Scarlett went up top. Did that just change the whole dynamics of the game and actually put it more in our favour?
I think it did. We looked a lot more fluid in that front three when Johnson was on the right, Scarlett and Sonny out on the left. I thought Sonny was doing a lot of good work out there on the left and putting in balls, creating havoc, as was Johnson. I do have to mention his miss because we wouldn't have needed Van der Ven's, absolute stunner from the edge of the box.
You do have to mention,
right?
It was, but wasn't that so? Quick thing on that though.
Yeah,
like he gets in that position.
He does.
Right? However, who's on the left hand side causing havoc? Who was that?
Sonny. Yeah, of course, and that's why I'm praising Sonny being out on the left. But for me, right. To be an elite footballer in those situations, Johnson has to be finishing his dinner, right? You're a yard out. I know the post is there and he's thinking, I'm going to collide with the post.
Doesn't even hit the post, does it?
Yeah, there's all that. But just put your foot on it. That's it. Just a toe and it would have gone in. So he's going to have to learn. But we got the win in the end. And that's the most important thing.
So a lot like he's finished at against Forest, at home. Van der Ven is in what we call the inverted left back situation, comes forward, skips past rides two challenges. Scarlett, if nobody sees, and if you watch it back, brings two players as well out the game, so it leaves this massive hole. And then Van der Ven slots it cleanly to the bottom right of Muric.
Unbelievable.
What a finish.
Unbelievable finish. Honestly, that's, any number 10 will be proud of that finish. Any midfielder. I mean, it was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. And I think that a player like Van der Ven, he's so good that he can play any position. He can play that left wing, left back, left wing, give him centre back, put him in that DM, he'd probably be one of the world's best DMs.
So does that make it clear that actually we do probably need to sign another left centre back who's just as quick? Well, not just as quick, but is quick enough. Because Dragusin comes on today. He does come on. What did you make of his 30 minutes?
I think he did really well. He showed why we bought him. Strong in the air. He made a great challenge in the last couple of minutes there, coming back where I thought he was Van der Ven, but it was Dragusin. And he did phenomenally to make the challenge, made it look easy. So I think that we'll see a lot more of him next season. And maybe we'll see Ange tweaking that defence a little bit. If maybe he's learned a little bit more about his team in that performance.
So there was a lot of, especially when doing the watch along there, a lot of people were wanted Madders off and wanted Kulu off. Were they justified in their performances today that a lot of people were strongly against them?
Yes and no. So Kulu didn't have one of his best performances. Madders worked his way into the game for me as it went on and did create some havoc. It wasn't one of his best performances in a Spurs shirt by a mile. But he wasn't, horrific and not providing for people. I think, on another day, maybe the opportunity that he had in the box where he beat his defender and Muric made a great save, that goes in. So for me, Madders deserved to be on the pitch. Kulu maybe could have been subbed even a little bit earlier for me. And sorry if that's a bit harsh. It's just when I'm looking at the player that we bought a couple of Januaries ago and to the player that we have now, I've seen regression and not progression.
Yeah.
So I'm just having to call it how I see it, unfortunately, because I really do like Kulu, and I think that, you know, if he can change and adapt a few aspects of his game, we've got a real player there.
So, Tuesday. Let's talk about Tuesday quickly. It kind of leaves us in a little bit of a hole, doesn't it? Now, we've got the 3 points today. We're 4 points behind Villa at the moment, I believe, without checking the table. I believe we're 4 points behind because it was 7 points before today. Mm-hmm. If Villa lose to Liverpool on Monday, we've got a serious question to ask. Because obviously a lot of our fans are wanting to lose to City on Tuesday if it means it handing Arsenal that league title. But some fans will say, let's think about us before we think about anyone else. What do you say to them?
Yeah, let's think about us. And thinking about us means that we are all United fans tomorrow, right? We all turn into little red devils for a couple of hours, hope they win. And then, yeah, we do think about us. We go out and we beat City on Tuesday. However...
what happens with the worst case scenario?
Exactly. In the worst case scenario, and Arsenal do win tomorrow, then I'm quite happy to, you know, for a 4-5 defeat, you know, where Dane Scarlett scores a hat-trick and Maddison gets one and they score 5. I'll be happy.
So, look, let's put it this way, right? If Arsenal just need to not win tomorrow, if they draw, they're a point behind City, which then gives, you know, City could win the title at us on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or it just, you know, it gives us... But then, are you wanting to win that game, even though there's... like, Man City have got West Ham on the last day of the season, I believe, and I think Arsenal got Everton at home. Is there a case of actually...
still losing it.
But if Arsenal were to win against United, are you still sitting there going, we can't win that game?
Yeah, we can't win that game. We cannot win that game. If Arsenal win, I'll put it very simply, we cannot win that game.
So is it a case of right now, look, Villa win on Monday, and then it's all over for us anyway? And I think today's confirmed 5th for us. So
it's better for us anyway. Yeah. Anyone thinking that we are Champions League ready... Just go and look at the teams in that competition. We're nowhere near it.
So I asked you a question earlier, and maybe, you know, some people might not see it in the watch along, so I'm going to ask you again. But does our transfer activity change for the sort of player we'll try and bring in, whether it's Champions League or Europa League?
And I'll stick with the same answer. It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
But with Tottenham Hotspur, you just never know, and it might. But yeah, in reality, if Ange is really building a team to challenge for the title, regardless of whether we finish 5th or 4th, it should be the same investment, the same players that we're going for. And if anything, the last window taught me, I didn't think we'd get our hands on Dragusin. I thought he was going to Bayern. So the fact that we got him does show me that we're trying to do things a little bit differently. So I'm holding a bit of hope for this window.
What will be, I'm going to ask you now, all right, and hopefully we can clip this for next year. Looking at it now, what is going to be progression? Because obviously we're coming up, next week's our last week, right? Last game of the season. What would be progression from this year to next year?
A trophy. Simple as that.
Anyone?
Any trophy. Any trophy. Europa League, Carling Cup, Carabao Cup, whatever you want to call it, League Cup or an FA Cup. Either one of those 3, for me, would not just be progression, it will be a huge building block for this club. It will be a monkey off our back that has been shackling us for over 15 years now. And I think that will be the hugest thing that we could do.
So my last question to you before we wrap this up. To all the Ange out people right now, who honestly, like some of the points they're bringing up, absolutely spot on and can't argue with it.
Legitimate questions
as well. What would you say to them right now to try and say to them, just stick with Ange for now and don't give up on him too soon?
100%. You took the words out of my mouth, Marlon. I don't even need to say it, because that is it. That is it. Just have a bit of patience. Good things come to those who wait. And let's just really try and build, because for me, the most important thing that Ange has done in this year is not the first 10 games, the wins, is not any of that. It's the connection that he's managed to rebuild between the fans and the club that was completely broken for the last 3-4 years. So let's keep building that. Let's keep the harmony together. Let's keep the positive vibes, and let's go into next season afresh and with ambition to bring back those glory days and get some trophies in that cabinet.
Yeah, for me, this pre-season is going to be a bit of a hit and miss because of the Euros and Copa America that's coming up as well. So it's going to be very difficult for Ange. He's going to be competing with that. So he hasn't going to have the free summer that he had this summer.
Get your signings in before the Euros and the prices go up for the players.
Yeah, if they can. It's kind of try and get them out of the way now. But look, the problem is some of them might not even be available to even bring in at the time. So all I say to Spurs is try and get, because obviously we're trying to get rid of a bunch of players as well. And actually that's kind of what needs to happen now.
Yeah.
And just sat there and he's told you his list of all the players that need to go. If it's true of someone like Real and AC Milan are interested, please don't haggle over £10 million with this one. Just
pay the money. Get your man.
Get the money off the books and kind of things like that.
Fully agree.
Right, certain players like that, like I'll understand players like Højbjerg, who does contribute to this team in a positive way
and has done for years.
And has done. He's not a first team starter, but he get the best price possible because he's contributing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Emerson Royale for me is not contributing anymore like he used to, and it's kind of you need to get rid of certain players. Be ruthless, right? Well, like. Everyone has compared him to Arteta and Klopp. This is what they've been doing. I don't get it because Liverpool and Arsenal act in a different way to we do. But if we can get close of acting like that, right? As I've said to people, what Spurs need to do this summer, right, with Ange, is do exactly how he plays in the transfer market. High risk, hopefully some high reward.
High reward, yeah.
Right, and that's how we need to be. And unfortunately, if Spurs don't do that and they go in, I said it last summer was half-hearted because they knew Kane was leaving and they didn't replace thing. Get the players in the key positions, especially the attacking three. I think everyone in the chat today said front three, and it took our defender to score again. Yeah. We've got to get that front three right. 100%. I think that's a big concern.
Look, in an Ange system, in an attacking system, that's what you need. So I'd even argue that it's not just the front three. It's you need also replacements for those front threes. Yes. So it's like your front six, really, or front five. You really do need to add to that attack.
And the weirdest thing is I'm against Werner, right? But actually, I'm now going in the fact of going, actually, if Ange actually seriously wants him, I'm kind of in that scenario of, actually, it's going to be down to you. And if it starts to go wrong, I am blaming you. Yeah. Because that's
the way it should be.
Yeah,
he's your pick.
He's your pick. You said you wanted him. So I'm willing to, look, to be fair to Werner, everything else is spot on what he does. He takes, when he does take on his
beats his man.
Beats his man when he can.
Puts in good balls.
Puts in good crosses and everything like that.
Creates space.
The problem is, and as we saw today when Johnson misses that open goal, when they get you get in this system, you get in very good positions, you have to score. You have to score. Because you're then, as Ange just said, there are bigger problems in the team than set pieces, right? And what he means by that is we don't keep the ball well enough.
That's the problem,
right? And if we're not scoring the goals,
one of the biggest problems.
We're gonna keep everything's gonna keep coming on our goals. So that's my only thing. But
no, I hear that.
Yeah,
I hear that.
But yeah, thank you to everyone who's joined us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, especially everyone in the chat, especially you, Jory. I'm going to give you a special shout out. There were 3 super chats we had from you, and I think Brian Coffey as well.
Back to winning ways.
Come on. Before we go, tell people where they can find you on the socials if they want to find you.
Yeah, please do, guys. I've set up my podcast, rebranded it as the Olive Branch Podcast, so please do go check it out over there. And obviously, you can find me here with the watch-alongs. And it's been a real pleasure. First time in the studio with Marlon. Real pleasure to be here, and it's for a nice win on a sunny day. So let's go party the night away. Enjoy it, guys, and hopefully we'll see you here again on Tuesday for City.
Yeah, and also for me, you can find me over at Spurs Kings TV with Ashmatic. A lot of you know him already, so please look. Our link's in the title. Spurs Kings TV. Please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 2,500 now, so it'd be a major help to the 1,500 of you watching.
Come on,
please,
come on,
guys,
come
over and subscribe. And if you're not a Spurs fan, we've also got a channel called The Pitch. That's going to be all about football, non-Spurs related. Go over there and check us out as well. We're going to be hosting some stuff on there as well. But if not, please make sure on We Are Tottenham TV you're subscribing, and make sure you hit the like button for Ben and Sim. You should all know already. I'm assuming most of you are subscribers before I hit.
Come on.
But as always, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.